After doing the instant reaction video yesterday, I've now had time to reflect, and I have to say, I still thought we were shit. I still thought Chelsea were the better side. Still thought they had a really good game plan. So pretty much that's it, innit? That's the end of the video. You know me, I can't just say something for a couple of minutes, can I? I have to keep rabbiting on. I can't help myself. So let's take a couple of other points around yesterday. Racist behaviour. Absolutely and unequivocally, you cannot condone racist behaviour by any stretch of the imagination. The only thing I would say is, at this stage, I haven't actually seen anything to tell me that racist behaviour went on. And I'm not saying that Rudiger's lying or anything like that. I'm just saying I haven't seen any evidence put forward regarding it. And the only reason that's an interesting point is because when you consider the banana incident at the empty shites, straight away anyone who knows anyone knew who exactly that was that had done that, and was called out quite quickly all over the social media network. And yet in this situation, as I'm doing this video now, I haven't seen anything or heard anything, which is really strange. But if that person did do that, if there are people that did do that kind of stuff, then shame on you, because there is just absolutely no need for it. Absolutely no need for it. And whether you meant it because he's a Chelsea player or whatever, it's immaterial. To me, it's just an ingrained problem that needs to be resolved, you know? The reality is, even those guys, if there are people out there doing that, I guarantee you they will have black friends, or friends from different countries, or friends of different religions. But it's so in their mentality, or lack of mentality, that they can't help themselves but do stuff like that on the basis of rivalry of a football team. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, you're nobody. Shame on you. I think you're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to my club. You're a disgrace to your friends, to your family, and to those around you. And anybody who was in the area when this was going on, shame on you as well for letting them do it. Because I'm bloody sure if someone next to me was making monkey chants, I'd have plenty to say about it, you know. But hey, listen, I'm not going to cast aspersions on anyone in particular until I know the facts. If it's happened, I'm hopeful that the club will do a full investigation. They'll find out who it is. They'll see what they've done, and those people will be dealt with accordingly, and quite rightly so. Okay, so I don't want to harp onto that too much, because I don't know all the facts yet. So when we know the facts, then maybe that's sometime we can talk a little bit more in depth on that subject. Let's talk a little bit about Son and his sending off. For me, I have to say, quite rightly, I think if you're going to do something as stupid as kick out, and you can say he was rolling back and he was off, you know, because he was on the floor and he was trying to get up, and you can say that as much as you like, but you know, the reality is, if you do something like that, if you kick out in any way, you are going to give the referee a decision to make. And not only are you going to give the referee a decision to make, you've also got VAR to make that decision. Okay, so you're not going to get away with that. And for me, it shows a lack of maturity from Son, because he's been targeted before at Bournemouth, and he fell into the trap, and that's exactly what happened here. You know, I felt that Chelsea had a really good game plan. I felt that they almost Mourinho'd us to a certain extent, because you know, they soaked up the pressure, they piled the pressure on us. They set themselves out really difficult to break down, but at the same time they pressurised us really, really well, and our players just couldn't cope with it. We couldn't string a pass together. As soon as we were challenged by one of their players, it just went nowhere, and they were all over us, and we resorted to just pumping it upfield from Toby, and we were never going to break them down like that. There needed to be some kind of creativity, some kind of magic in midfield, which we just didn't have. But what they also did is they slowed the game when they needed to. They kept possession when they needed to. They brought a foul when they needed to. They made a foul when they needed to. They niggled when they needed to. And to be honest with you, I felt that it was a really good display from Chelsea. Had we not made the mistakes we made, certainly the first goal, giving away a corner the way we did, poor. Giving away a goal from that corner, even poorer. And for me, again, you have to call out Serge Aurier for falling asleep and for not getting involved in that situation. When you give away a goal like that, you're always going to give yourself a mountain to climb. And the difficulty is, with a team like Chelsea, a good team like Chelsea, they are going to punish you, And then when you've got Gazzaniga, and I've seen the video several times, and you can see he's obviously coming out. The ball's at a height too high for him to kick, but he's decided it's over here, so I need to use my leg. I can't turn my body angle to get to it, so I'm gonna chuck my leg at it. But then at the same time as you're doing that, with your leg in the air like that, and a player coming towards you, again you're gonna give the referee a decision to make, and you're gonna give VAR a decision to make. And that stupidity of both of those situations, those moments, have cost us the game, because outside of that, Chelsea didn't really threaten us at all. Now, to be fair, they didn't need to. They didn't have to. They were quite happy playing the way they were, and quite rightly so, because we weren't threatening at all. I think our first shot on target was in probably the 93rd minute or something ridiculous. So you can kind of say, well, Chelsea didn't have to work that hard to get that result. They didn't have to push us, they didn't have to trouble us, because they'd already got the 2 goals and the game was done. So again, really disappointing from Sonny, because he's, we've all defended him and said he's not that sort of player, he's not a nasty player and all the rest of it, especially after the incident up at Everton. And then he goes and does something as silly as this. Now, it did just flash up on my phone that Tottenham are going to appeal. I think they'll be lucky to win that appeal. I really do. Give it a go. Of course, why not? What you got to lose? But again, for me, if you're on your back, the guy's over you, and you kick up in the air whilst he's over you, you're giving them a decision. And once you give them a decision like that, they are not going to back away from it. So I'm sorry, Sonny, but that's poor from you. I don't think it cost us the game, because I felt we actually looked a little bit better once we were down to 10 men. But it's still a poor decision, because it means that he potentially misses the next 3 games, and Sonny has been a pivotal player for us. So really, really disappointing. I think I will have a little say about the Chelsea fans and their treatment of Mourinho. Is it right? I'm not sure. I'm kind of caught in 2 minds, right? Because for them to sing "Fuck off, Mourinho" and "You're not special anymore" to the manager that won them their first Premier League titles, I think is pretty poor taste. But then on the other hand, I guess it's because they see us as such big rivals, probably more so than we see them. I'm not saying we don't dislike Chelsea and we don't want to beat Chelsea, we don't see them as a rival, but obviously for me it's always Arsenal. Arsenal are our rival. Chelsea have always been a little bit insignificant to me. I've never really thought of them as a big rival. Even back in the day of putting me £1 in for their to save the bridge, I always felt a little bit sorry for them. There was always a bit of the has-been team, and we always, fed players too and stuff like that. So never really saw them as a big rival from that perspective. that's not playing down the fact that they are rivals, right? I'm just saying, in terms of rivalry, for me, it's always Arsenal. And the same, I feel the same about West Ham. Probably a little bit less than West Ham. I don't even see them as a rival, to be fair. But from their point of view, clearly they see us as their main rival, because obviously Fulham aren't really a rival to them because they're a bit of a yo-yo club. So I guess we're the next best thing. I guess I'm not sure that they have the same rivalry with Arsenal. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. And I certainly don't think they have it with West Ham. So it's a bit of a strange one. But yeah, I thought it was in a little bit of poor taste. But then if they believe that we're their rivals in the same way that we believe Arsenal's our rivals, then I suppose they can see it as a bit of a Judas move. I guess, I don't know. I mean, I guess I look at it from the other direction. And when Hoddle went there to be their manager, I never kind of thought of him as a Judas going to Chelsea. I guess that's where my logic comes from. But you know, I may well be wrong. So yeah, a little bit disappointed with that in terms of how they treated him. But you know, at the end of the day, it's no skin off my nose how they want to behave. Didn't hear any hissing or anything like that from them. So that's what confused me about the calls about the racism thing, because I wasn't expecting it to be Tottenham related. Yeah, so I guess overall, really disappointing day. Poor performance. I felt that we were poor all across the pitch, from Kane right through to Gazaniga. Don't think any of them covered themselves in any glory whatsoever. I felt Sissoko ran a lot, achieved nothing. The only person who kind of came on and gave themselves any kind of credit is probably Ndombele, whose touch, I have to say, is fantastic. I mean, his confidence and poise on the ball was magnificent. I mean, I think I was more scared sat in my seat in the North Stand when he had the ball at his feet and someone was charging at him, you know. So yeah, really disappointing from the whole squad yesterday. But as has been pointed out, there's still plenty of games to go. Top four's not out of our sights. We've closed the gap fairly quickly on where we were to where we are now. So let's not have a meltdown. Let's not do an AFTV. Let's just let it go, relax, look forward to the next game and see where that takes us. At the end of the season, we'll know where we are. Mourinho's got a job to do. We know that. The painful rebuild hasn't really started. Still using the same players that Pochettino had, which says to me it's more about the players than it is about the manager. But to have got the points that he's got with these players, it's a start. Onwards and upwards, up the Spurs.